Christ, and it's time for our morning devotional. So let's get our Bibles out and let's turn over to the book of Luke. And this morning I'm going to read from Luke chapter 11, and I'm going to begin reading in verse 5. That's Luke 11, verse 5. And he said to them, "Which of you shall have a friend and go to him at midnight and say to him, 'Friend, lend me 3 loaves. For a friend of mine has come to me on his journey, and I have nothing to set before him.' And he will answer from within and say, 'Do not trouble me. The door is now shut. My children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give to you.' I say to you, though he will not rise and give to him because he is his friend, yet because of his persistence he will rise and give him as many as he needs." Because of his persistence. Now, sometimes we have the idea that, it's wrong just to pray over and over again for the same exact thing. Here we are, we're going before God's throne and we're petitioning Him just over and over again about the same situation. That's got to show God that we have a lack of faith in His judgment. And yet, this short little parable that Jesus teaches here is really telling us something very opposite to that way of thinking. This parable gives us the answer to this question. Is that wrong? Does that show a lack of faith? Because Jesus is talking about the persistence that God desires from us in prayer. He wants us to demonstrate a persistence, and this persistence shows God how much we actually lean on Him. It actually shows a greater faith, not a lesser faith. And so we don't need to misunderstand the meaning of this parable. In the story, here's his friend, and he is initially refused by his neighbor to give him any bread. He says, "You just need to quit. Don't bother me this late at night. My kids are asleep. You just need to go away." And yet the neighbor is constantly asking, persisting in his request, and as a result, the one being asked gives him anything he needs if he'll just go away. Now, at first look, it may seem that Jesus is saying that God is hesitant to answer our prayers, and He only is going to answer our prayers if we pester Him continually. But that's not the point at all. God's never bothered by our prayers. He desires to hear from us. He is never hesitant to answer. He wants to give us exactly what we need. The meaning that Jesus is trying to get across here is that God desires our persistence in prayer. He wants to hear from us over and over and over and over again. And He wants us to rely on Him and to mimic what Paul would say in 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 17, to pray without ceasing. It's in this persistence that God truly sees our faith and reliance upon Him, but it's also in this persistence where we find comfort and solace, knowing that only God can provide. This is Mike Peters with the Pottsville Church of Christ, and I hope these daily devotionals are giving your day a positive start. If you like this video, want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the bell notification, and you'll be notified when new videos come online. If you're watching this on Facebook or through a link on Facebook, like that link, like the video, share it on your page, and that will help us get the message of Jesus out to as many people as possible. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful upcoming weekend. And don't forget, always be praying.